All right, welcome back to FantasyFran.com. Fran, let's talk about the big guys with the good hands, the tight ends.
You know, tight ends were always important to me in my career. I just love throwing to the tight ends. I threw to a tight end named Bob Tucker, both in New York and Minnesota, and Bob Tucker had been cut by the Philadelphia Eagles, the New England Patriots in 2 previous years, and we bring him into camp, and he's kind of a hybrid, and looks half a wide receiver and half tight end, and they were going to cut him, but they didn't cut him. I made them keep Bob Tucker on the team, and in his rookie year, he led the league in receiving. He did for the next 2 or 3 years, because tight ends are so important to your offense. You cannot forget about the tight ends. Now, San Francisco, you've got one, Vernon Davis. And Jim Harbaugh, you want to get off to a good start, you get the ball to Vernon Davis. He's got a quarterback that hasn't found his rhythm yet, Alex Smith. #1 pick of the draft a few years ago. He needs to find himself this year. He's done and gone. He needs to get the ball to Vernon Davis. He's playing against a weak defense in Seattle. I think they'll do the right thing, get the ball to Vernon Davis, who is an absolute beast. He catches it. He gets open. He's fast. He'll run with the football after the catch. All the things you want to know.
Now, before we move on there, you mentioned Alex Smith. Jim Harbaugh had Andrew Luck at Stanford. How important is it, and what kind of an effect can a Jim Harbaugh have on an Alex Smith?
Big effect. But Jim Harbaugh was a really good quarterback. He was a backup at Pittsburgh and to Terry Bradshaw many years, and he really understands the game from a quarterback standpoint. And the only person that can understand the game from a quarterback standpoint is a quarterback.
Good point.
And that's why Harbaugh will be very, very good for Alex Smith. All right, #2. Here's a guy. Owen Davis at Houston.
Owen Daniels, I'm sorry.
I mean, Owen Daniels at Houston, that really does not fit the profile of a Vernon Davis or Jermichael Finley. He's not the big, fast, but he's dependable. He's got good hands. He fits into their offense. And Shaw likes the tight end in the offense. He will get the ball to Owen Daniels. There again, they got the benefit of playing Indianapolis without Peyton Manning, so they'll get a lot of touches on the Houston side, and he'll get the ball. The tight end is a safer play than throwing to the wide receiver.
Gotcha.
And so Owen Daniels will get a lot of catches, and I like that pick. #3, Jermichael Finley. You've got a lot of guys at Green Bay can catch the ball.
It's true.
We've talked about that. But how they won the Super Bowl last year without him, I don't know.
That was a big loss last year.
He is their most dangerous weapon on offense. This is a big, strong, physical, run, catch, everything that you want in the tight end. And I think he's going to have a monster year. And Aaron Rodgers is so glad to have him back. He's going to get the ball to Jermichael Finley, and he'll be good for the entire year. #4 is a very interesting guy from New Orleans, Jimmy Graham.
I know you're high on him.
6'7", came out of nowhere last year. Nobody expected that much except they did at New Orleans. Dependable, catch it, run. He is the emerging next great tight end. He's going to have a blowout year. You keep him on your list because Jimmy Graham is one that you want. And Drew Brees is going to have to get the ball to him, because the one thing the Green Bay Packers do when New Orleans plays the Packers is that they rush the passer. And so by rushing the passer, Drew Brees will be dumping that ball off to Jimmy Graham and keep him in the game. #5. We go back to Detroit again.
Yes, sir.
Detroit, I'm telling you, keep him on your list. Brandon Pettigrew, 5-star player out of Oklahoma, big tight end, big target, and they don't have, but they got Calvin Johnson, but that's it. Calvin Johnson, Brandon Pettigrew. And I think that Matthew Stafford will get the ball to Pettigrew. I think he's going to have what's he been there 1 year now, it's his 2nd year. He's going to have a breakout year on a great team, playing a Tampa Bay team that I think is a good team, and I think they're a good team for the future. But they're not there yet, and they're not defensively there yet. And I think that Detroit will be able to keep Josh Freeman off the field. They're gonna turn that ball over a lot against it and give Brandon Pettigrew and Matthew Stafford some time. Pettigrew's a good pick on the 5th. All 5 of these tight ends are really good.
Extremely solid, Fran. I think you hit it right on the head. Folks, when we come back, we're going to talk to you about the key defenses to go ahead and start this week. Week 1, right here, FantasyFran.com.